Hi everyone! We in this video are going to go ahead and show you how to create your air plant terrarium take-home kit. During this video we're going to explain all of the items that you had received in the kit, their purposes. We're also going to show you how to assemble your terrarium, along with what you are going to need to know for how to enter this into FAIR for our 4-H members, along with for our Clover kids, what you would need to do for your project to wrap it up. So let's go ahead and begin with what are the supplies that you should have received. You should have received your terrarium. This terrarium is a partially enclosed terrarium because we do have one opening yet where you can assemble everything. Please be careful because this is glass and it will crack. So for example, mine here, this one came in the mail cracked, so that's why this one is my example one. So when we're inserting things like our stones, we want to make sure that we are very careful. You will have had the option to select base materials. You will either have been able to select 2 groups of rocks, you could select 1 group of pebbles, or you could have had one of both. And so it's really up to you how you want them to look. I'm going to use the example of one of both for those. You also will have received a piece of moss that is just mainly used for decoration. If you want to, you can also include pieces of driftwood or other items that you want to include into your terrarium. This is just for decoration use. Now for the real stars of the show, we also have given you 2 air plants. So these are real plants, real living, breathing plants. They do not have a root system, so that allows them to basically live in air or without soil. So we will also have given you a sheet that shows you how to care for these guys, along with different variety types. You will need to have variety types listed for when you enter into FAIR. These guys, they're very simple to take care of. Just mist inside of your jar every now and then, and I believe once every month or every 3 months you will need to take them out and soak them with water. So that is your basic care and maintenance. All right, so let's talk about how we are going to assemble our air plants now. So the very first thing that you are going to need is you are going to need your terrarium and then your base materials. So for me, I like the look of having the smaller, it's basically aquarium rock on the bottom, followed with the river rock on top. So there's a couple of different options. I believe we had options of black or lime green. If you wanted to, you can always get your own and have whatever color as well. So to begin with, I'm going to go ahead and open my bag of the aquarium rock. And I am very carefully going to dump this inside. Now remember, this is glass. So if you drop the rocks, especially if you're doing the river rocks, there's a very good chance that you could break this. And so we do not want to do that. So very carefully, we are going to want to put them in here. We did find out some people may want to try and add sand into theirs. These seams here are not secured all the way around. So sand is just going to leak out the base of the terrarium. So if you wanted to, you could try and put some sand in, but like I said, the inside seams are not all the way secured. All right, so now I have my rock in here. I kind of leveled it out. I would kind of tilt it up, but it's going to end up sliding all over in the terrarium. So you have at least a nice clear view from the top. All right, now I'm going to come in and I'm going to include my river rock. If you have certain rocks you want to add on your own, you are more than welcome to do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and just lightly include them on the top. This to me just gives it a nice little layered look and a little bit of dimension. All right, so now I have a clear layer on the bottom of my base pebbles and then also the top with my rock. Next, I'm going to go ahead and include my plants and my moss. So it really depends how you want to do it. This is a bigger plant for me, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to plan to put it towards the back. my smaller plant towards the front, and I'm going to include my moss on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the moss over on the side here because I like the look of it being kind of off-centered. That way I can also easily grab my plants out to soak them. I'm going to go ahead and just secure my little guy in here. To me it looks kind of like tentacles. And then what I'm doing is I'm just kind of nestling them into the rock as they grow. And you can, since these guys do not have that root system, you can go ahead, and I'm just being very careful and gentle as I'm doing that, move them off to the side so that they're laying down in different ways too. All right, so here is my finished terrarium. So I have a finished terrarium that I can bring to enter into fair. Now, when we look and talk about fair, let's talk about how this is going to look if we are using a 4-H versus a Clover Kid. Now, Clover Kid, if you are doing this for a Clover Kid project, again, please be very, very careful as you're transporting. Clover Kid's simple and easy. All you need to do is include one of those informational tags on the bottom of your terrarium, so that way we know whose it is, and then bring it in that way. So then you will interview with some of our older 4-H members. If you are in 4-H, this is going to fit under the terrarium. I am in section G of the fair book, and this is specifically under, let me go back to the front section here, section of houseplants. So again, I am back here. So for terrariums, it is a clear container, partially or completely enclosed, sealed or unsealed, labeled variety or cultivar for each plant. So what you are going to need to include is a note card or a document that is telling of what each plant is. If you want to take a picture of what it is so they know what each one is and include it on that card, you are more than welcome to do so as well. Let's go back to the beginning so you are aware of all the items that need to be included. So entries in class 60 through 66 must have been designed and planted by the 4-H member. In this case, we will need this section here. So your container grown houseplants. The choice of container and soil quality will be considered in judging. Obviously, for air plants, we're not worried as much about our soil. We're going to identify each plant individually if more than one cultivar or variety. So in this case, this would be a great place where we can take a picture of each and add it on a card. Houseplants should be grown in the display container for a minimum of 6 weeks. So we're going to go ahead and assemble these as soon as you get them. Plants grown as houseplants must be used. Nub guides can be used to talk about selecting plants. And then so obviously we're talking then on number 4 about size. So we are under 12 inches. We are not worried about that. And then exhibitors must provide a saucer to catch drainage water. Obviously, we are not worried about drainage for our plants here, for our terrarium, so we're good to go. And then just make sure that you are putting that data tag sticker on the bottom of both your terrarium, and then if you would bring anything else like our fairy gardens, that you have the base for that. All right, so that is the assembly piece for our air plant terrariums. Talked about the materials, we talked about how to assemble. Additionally, we talked about how you're going to enter into fair. If you have any questions about how to complete this project, go ahead and contact us here at the Extension office. We hope that you have fun assembling your air plant terrarium and have fun adding any fun little extra pieces inside your terrarium. You want to add a dinosaur or a unicorn statue into it, have fun, do whatever you would like. So again, if you have any questions, please contact us here at the Extension office. We're always here to help. Have a great summer, guys.